Welcome everyone. Today we are diving into a critical aspect of regulatory compliance, adulteration by behavior. Based on the latest June 2024 FDA guidance, we'll explore how your actions or inactions during an inspection can legally render a product adulterated, regardless of its actual physical quality. This is the most important shift in mindset for this presentation. Traditionally, adulteration meant a dirty facility or a defective pill. However, under Section 501J of the FDA Act, if an owner or operator delays, denies, limits, or refuses an inspection, the product is deemed adulterated by law. In short, a perfect product becomes illegal to sell simply because the FDA couldn't verify it properly. The legal teeth behind this come from two major acts. FDA SIA 2012 added Section 501J for drugs, and FDA RA 2017 expanded that scope to include medical devices. This authority covers any establishment where drugs or devices are manufactured, processed, packed, or held. Per Section 704, FDA officers are authorized to enter and inspect at reasonable times and in a reasonable manner. The FDA categorizes prohibited behavior into four buckets: delay, deny, limit, and refuse. It's important to note that these aren't mutually exclusive. One bad decision can count as both a limitation and a refusal. The common thread is any action that impedes the investigator's duties. Scheduling is the first hurdle. For drug facilities, the FDA usually does not pre-announce. They just show up, with some exceptions. For devices, Section 704 actually requires pre-announcement, unless it's a for-cause inspection. Red flags here include failing to agree to a start date without a reason, or ignoring FDA emails and phone calls. Once the investigator is on site, the clock starts. A common trap is the conference room trap, leaving an investigator isolated for hours without access to staff or files. Other violations include claiming a shutdown only after they arrive. While the FDA accepts minor delays from genuine confusion, they won't tolerate intentional stalling. Denial is often more active. This includes stopping an investigator at the door, rejecting a pre-announced date, or, crucially, deception. Falsely claiming you don't make regulated products, or sending staff home to pretend production isn't happening, are direct violations that lead to an adulteration finding. Limiting occurs when you provide access but gatekeep the scope. Examples include stopping manufacturing just to hide a process, barring entry to specific rooms without a valid reason, or forcing an investigator to leave before they are finished. The FDA is entitled to see the areas and processes relevant to their inspection. There is a common myth that you can simply say, "No photos allowed." In reality, the FDA views photos as objective evidence of conditions like infestations or faulty equipment. Similarly, Section 702 gives them the authority to collect samples, environmental, raw materials, or finished products. Blocking this is a formal limitation. In the digital age, record access is vital. Obstruction now includes digital silencing, providing heavily redacted records, removing columns from Excel files, or locking files so they can't be searched or sorted. If the original is electronic, the FDA expects an electronic copy, not just a flattened PDF or paper printout. Refusal can be active, physically barring entry or not unlocking doors, or passive, failing to respond to any contact. The standard here is high. The owner or operator must actively facilitate the inspection. Just existing while ignoring the investigator is considered a refusal. It's not all gotcha tactics. The law requires inspections to be reasonable. The FDA's stance is that if a delay actually helps achieve the inspection's goal, like waiting a day to see a specific monthly manufacturing campaign, it may be deemed reasonable. The key is immediate communication of the reason. To simplify, "we aren't ready" is a violation. But saying, "please come Tuesday so you can actually see the process" is a reasonable explanation. Likewise, you can't ban cameras by policy, but you can prevent flash photography if you can prove it degrades a light-sensitive chemical. It's about the scientific or operational why. How do we stay compliant? First, ensure your section establishment registration and contact emails are always current. The FDA uses these to reach you. Second, have a translation plan for English records. Finally, treat remote record requests with the same urgency as if an investigator were standing in your lobby. In closing, remember that compliance isn't just about the quality of the product on the line. It's about the transparency of the process. Open communication is your best defense. Facilitate, don't obstruct, and your behavior will never be the reason your product is pulled from the market.